Yo dudes, what's up? It's another Friday. Happy hour's already come and gone. And I switched over to coffee now. Sober up for a minute so I can draw some more parts here. But anyhow, still no great news as far as belts. Placed an order for 2 more sets of gearbox belts. Lord only knows when those things are going to be here. The long belt, again, this is still the PBA belt, but the belt I ordered is actually in Texas now, so it could be here tomorrow, it could be here next week. You just can never tell nowadays. But the more I look at this thing, now this guy here, I printed this up last week in my 13-hour printing marathon. This was my go at a belt tensioner, adjustable. So this would basically sit in the car like so, and the belt will come under this one. The top belt will come under this one and over that one, and then I can spin it obviously to make for basically zero I guess length change to approximately an extra probably 1 inch to 1.5 inch of travel. So it's quite a big adjustment. My printer is garbage. It was having all kinds of hell with this, and I had these little skinny tabs that held these two halves together, and they snapped while I was tapping holes. So this is salvageable, but I thought, well, if I was waiting on this to run the car, I would fix it. Meanwhile, in the meantime, I'll just probably print another one. But since I don't have gearbox belts, I say gearbox, I guess it's not really a gearbox anymore. But anyways, I don't have the belts for the I don't have drive belts, rear drive, I don't know what you want to call them. I don't have belts for the rear gearbox, so I can't run the car, so no hurry here. Let's see if we can see how that was supposed to sit back there. With this whole build, I've tried to not have to drill any new holes. So these are existing holes. Those are for what I believe was going to be one set. Probably the rear set was going to be for the rear, or for the throttle servo, and then maybe this forward set was going to be for the old mechanical speed control. So we won't probably have to deal with that. These were gonna sit in there like so. Everything fit. So goodness, okay, something like that. I don't have the belt in, but that's how it was going to be, and I could adjust that as needed. So one thing is I think that the belt, I know the belt that I ordered for this specifically is going to be a lot shorter than this belt, and that's great because I may not need this. I may not need anything this complicated. Also, these parts are way too beefy for what's actually necessary. And I had even considered having like a one-piece unit kind of, but yeah, anyhow, okay, so not a big deal. Everybody gets that. What was I gonna say? Forgot. So the belt that I ordered is a lot shorter. Now, that's cool because then maybe I don't need a very complicated tensioner or one with much adjustment. But the problem is that this tensioner here with this belt would end up putting this belt, end up being something like that, right? Well, the benefit there is that I could put some spacers in this old battery tray to get the bottom of the battery up above the lower belt, and I could still utilize that space for a traditional, stick pack. So I don't know. We'll see what, maybe that belt will be here tomorrow or this weekend. We'll figure that out. One thing I went ahead and did was print a rear, I guess, bulkhead, and my printer is so ugly. So anytime there's like support material, you get this ugliness here with this PLA. That was on the bed, but all this stuff was on support material, so it looks like shit. But came out all right. And really the main difference between that and the original is, obviously we have a notch here, and then we're also missing this little box, which used to, is where the back of the throttle servo used to sit. So we don't have that. But otherwise it's dimensionally the same piece. This is all my prints are in PLA. This isn't super strong, but we're not gonna race this thing. And it should be more than adequate. It's pretty stiff, so yeah, that's fine. I don't know if you guys, I guess everybody knows this about the RC10, but the original rear suspension arms, this little cutout that kind of gives you clearance for the outdrive is so close. And stock, now this is, I've upgraded this with bearings, and maybe with the bushings it's not like this. Maybe I need some shims, but this outdrive, it won't even spin. It's rubbing. So I kind of used the Dremel and went after that, both sides a little bit, to give some clearance, because they both had notched where that outdrive had kind of eaten away from the nylon over time. But I guess that's a pretty common thing. The only other stuff to really mention here is that, oops, sorry, I just moved everything. This was the Shapeways part. This was the one that was set up for 35-degree kick up. I got impatient and printed one for 31 degrees or 30 degrees. My printer sucks, again, as I've mentioned, but it's much flatter now, much closer. I'd say it's still a degree off or so, but I can't tell if that's just because of the support material. Ended up yielding a part that didn't have like a very flat bottom to it. But yeah, so the other change to that bulkhead, or whatever you want to call it, is the mounting holes for the front shock tower changed. Remember, this hole here was like useless because it was too close to the hinge pin and the front suspension arm. So that we did away with that. These two kind of moved over and a little bit. So yeah, nothing really wrong with this piece, but I had time to do it. So what else? Oh yeah, new shock tower. This is kind of the evolution of the shock tower. So that was made specifically for that Shapeways unit. And again, I thought that kind of had a neat look to it, but it didn't work anyways. The angle was wrong. These holes for the upper, I guess, camber link were not in the right position, and I didn't leave enough material to add extra holes. Otherwise, I thought that was kind of neat looking, but functionality over looks, right? So that was in the nylon 6, so this thing's probably indestructible. This is the next one I printed up, and I also thought that one kind of looked cool, and I had some cutouts for those chassis bars that connect from the front to here. I was trying to make room for that, and it ended up that even with the bulkhead having the correct angle, the bar rubbed this bottom. There's just not enough clearance here. So there's just no way to have that loop there. There's not enough space, or you start to get it too close to the outdrive on the front diff. So yeah, another one bites the dust. I had added extra holes for the upper camber link. I had changed the mounting holes for the tower to the bulkhead. Added a second hole for shocks. Yeah, it really looked the part, but didn't work. And so finally, this is where we are now. We got clearance for the bars, although I haven't added them because I still need to drill and tap a hole in those, which is further back because, again, this has been moved out by 0.4 inches. So that we'll do that next. Dang, man, I jibber jabber for a long time. This is already 11 minutes. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this whole setup. The bulkhead, the cover, the shock tower, these are all legit. If you look, I don't know if you can tell from the last video, but the camera is much straighter, or I guess closer to 90 degrees, which, I don't know how much it needs to be, but this is my only problem now. See how that the bottom of the wheel wants to come in a little bit? So it's kind of crazy because the suspension is very free, right? I got clearance for everything. But when you try to push down on the car like this, it doesn't want to go. And I think that's because the tires are wanting to pull in and they're gripping the surface, and they just can't. I'm guessing. But anyhow, so I think I still want to use what is going to be that farthest out hole, and just lengthen that upper link. And I think that will end up giving me, when this thing's moving, there won't be as much rotation of the wheel. But we'll see. Could be wrong on that. What else? I think I didn't have this both sides on last time, but I'm gonna be able to run the car with these Kyosho universals. Sorry about that. Definitely it'll hold up, for a quick run. And I guess the last thing to talk about real quick is the steering. This guy, now that I've stretched this thing out, the original steering setup maybe could have worked. I haven't tried it yet, but I went ahead and printed that. Again, it's in PLA, super thick and beefy. So should be strong enough to run the car. If you notice now, the little ball studs are pointing downwards as opposed to originally they're pointing up. Again, like that thing is pretty thick and beefy, so shouldn't be a problem for a run there. But yeah, that's working quite nice, actually. Pretty smooth, given a first attempt anyways. So that's where we're at now. I'm just waiting on stupid belts to show up, and we'll be able to run this damn car. I want to make a prediction that, I don't have any kind of I guess a slipper clutch or anything on the spur, so I'm gonna have to go really slow to avoid just shredding everything. I know for a fact that the diffs are not going to tolerate a lot of torque, although I think we should be able to get it up to speed. Just have to be gentle with it. I just really hope to see this thing move across the ground under its own power. And I've been doing a lot of research last week or so on some of the original kind of prototype four-wheel drive conversions and that sort of thing, and could I take a Schumacher Cat drivetrain and stick it in this car? For sure. Could I take a Yokomo YZ10 drivetrain and put it on a RC10 chassis? Of course you can. But would I I don't know. What I'm looking for here is like this stuff to look like when we're all said and done. This could have come this way. You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to fit the original style of the car, and I think as far as the front goes, we've kind of captured that so far. And I'm interested to hear your opinion on that. Of course, I might be full of shit, but that's what I'm kind of aiming at here. And as for the rear, you know, aside from the color, I think when this thing is done, I want it to look like this car came out of the box that way. And we'll see how far we get as far as that goes. But anyways, dudes, I hope your weekend goes well. I hope your projects are coming along, and hope you guys are enjoying your RC goodies, and hopefully the postman's running a lot faster for you than he is for me. Yeah, take care. Talk to you soon. All right, bye.